Yo guys, overtaking in F122 is a key technique that you should look to master. In this video, I'm going to run through a variety of ways to overtake cars in front in F122 to help moving through the pack that little bit easier. Before I take a look at specific overtaking moves and techniques, there are a few tools that you have at your disposal. It's key to familiarise yourself with these tools as they'll make overtaking significantly easier. I'm talking about DRS and ERS. Both of these are functions within the car that can be activated or adjusted to make you faster in a straight line. The DRS, short for drag reduction system, does exactly what it says on the tin. It helps eliminate drag in a straight line to increase top speed. In a race, DRS is only active through DRS zones, which are positioned around the track on the longest straights. These activate if you're within 1 second of the car in front as you pass through the detection line. If you are within a second, you can push the DRS button to activate it, and this will open a gap in your rear wing, which will make you faster in a straight line. It is important to note that DRS does reduce your rear downforce, so if you make any sudden movements with it open, you could lose rear stability. When you're following a car and trying to overtake, you should activate DRS every time you pass through a DRS zone. This will allow you to catch and hopefully pass the car in front much easier. Your ERS, or energy recovery system, is also a key tool when overtaking. The ERS is part of your powertrain, which produces additional electronic power. This works with your normal engine to create additional horsepower. F1 cars have multiple ERS modes that deploy different amounts of power in different scenarios. During a race, you have access to the overtake mode. This will give you a boost of additional power when you push the overtake button. If you use this mode when following a car ahead, you should close the gap between you two faster. This will assist in making a successful overtake move, especially if you use it together with the DRS. It is important to remember that the overtake ERS mode will drain your battery faster than the medium setting. So using overtake mode regularly will require you to spend a few laps without it to regenerate power. Before I look at specific overtaking moves, I want to touch on how important it is to maintain pressure on the car in front. If you constantly drive close to the car ahead, they'll be aware of you in their mirrors. This could cause them to focus more on you than the track ahead, meaning they may make a mistake or start to miss corner apexes. This is a great tactic if you aren't quite fast enough to perform an overtaking move. Pressuring the car ahead in single player in F122 can cause the AI to start to defend from potential overtakes or drive inconsistently. And applying pressure during online races is an even more powerful tactic. Often in multiplayer racing, other drivers can be pressured into making silly mistakes, which opens the door for an easy overtake. Right, now let's look at some overtake moves, and the first one's going to be the traditional overtaking on the inside of a corner. Pulling alongside on a straight and taking the inside line into a corner can force the other driver out wide or make them concede the position, and it's by far one of the most effective ways of overtaking in F122. When done right, it's very hard to defend against. To overtake on the inside, the first step is to ensure you get a good exit from the previous corner. Focus on taking the correct racing line through the corner and maximising your corner exit speed. Then, as you close in on the car in front, use a combination of DRS and overtake mode. Pull over to the inside line, and your speed advantage should allow you to at least pull alongside the car ahead. If you can get the inside line down the straight, you'll be extremely well positioned to complete the overtake through the corner ahead. Start to focus on your braking point to ensure you make the corner. Remember that if you were following the car and had DRS open, your braking point might be sooner than normal. If you're alongside the car but not ahead by a lot, you may need to try to outbrake them into the corner. If they brake later than you, they may be able to regain the position despite you having the inside line. The key to outbraking another driver is to be confident in your braking point. Knowing that you're not going to miss the corner when you brake late is important. Then it's a case of applying full braking force and smoothly transitioning off the brake pedal as you start to aim for the apex. If all of this is applied, you should emerge from the corner ahead. But be aware, by taking the inside line, you may be a little slow to get on the power due to the extreme corner angle. Try to ensure you get a good exit and pay attention to the car on the outside, trying to potentially re-overtake you. It isn't uncommon for drivers ahead to look to defend the inside line, which could force you to take the outside when overtaking. Overtaking on the outside can sometimes be beneficial, as you'll normally be able to take a faster line through the corner ahead. This can eliminate the chance of the driver trying to re-overtake you. When trying to overtake on the outside of a corner, you should look to take a very similar approach to the tips I mentioned earlier. Focus on getting a good exit out of the previous corner, stay in the slipstream of the car ahead, activate DRS as soon as possible and use Overtake ERS mode. These should be your go-to approaches to overtaking no matter your plan of attack. Once you get to the point of having to commit to a side, try to pull towards the outside of the track. The car ahead may move to defend the inside line anyway, as that's where they're most vulnerable, which will make claiming the outside even easier. As you approach the corner, ensure that you can brake a little later or be a little ahead into the corner. Overtaking around the outside can be trickier than down the inside, so ensure you're as far ahead as you can. As long as you're at least alongside the car as you start to go around the corner, you should be able to stop them from forcing you to concede the position. As you are taking a wider racing line through the corner, you should also be able to start accelerating a little earlier. The inside line is much tighter, so you'll have the advantage on the exit of the turn. You should be able to accelerate away from the corner much better, making the overtake stick. While overtaking around the outside is generally harder, it can prevent the other driver from trying to re-overtake you on the next straight. Next up, we've got the fake or dummy pass. If you're approaching a car ahead and they're occupying the side of the track you want to be on, you can perform a fake move or a dummy move. For example, if the driver ahead stays on the outside of the track down the straight, but that's the preferred line you'd like to take, you can move over to the inside earlier than you normally would. This gives the driver in front the chance to react, and they might respond by covering the inside line. If they do cover the inside line, you can move back to the outside of the track to take your preferred racing line. This technique is extremely good if you think you can predict the driver ahead, or if they're constantly defending one side of the track or the other. A dummy move can make them commit to defending a move they think you're about to make. Finally, we've got the Switchback Overtake. This is an example of the move that I mentioned when I was talking about the inside line overtake before. If you overtake on the inside, the driver behind may be able to perform a switchback overtake on you immediately after you pass. The switchback involves you staying to the outside of the track while the driver in front defends the inside line. As they're defending the inside, they will have to slow much more to make the corner. The inside line is much tighter, which will compromise their entry and exit. Because their exit will be slower than normal, the switchback overtake takes advantage of this. You can stay on the outside line, staying behind the car in front going into the corner. But as you approach the mid-corner, you can start to aim for the apex and get a very good exit out of the corner. The driver in front will likely proceed to take the outside line on the exit of the turn due to the tight angle. You can then drive down the inside of the driver ahead on the corner exit. You'll get much better acceleration, allowing you to overtake on the straight that follows. This style of overtake is often used when a driver lunges down the inside trying to overtake. They'll often be punished on the straight that follows due to their slow exit speed. With these overtaking moves in your arsenal, overtaking in F122 should become much easier. You'll be able to react to the driver in front and plan an overtaking move that can catch them off guard. Using a combination of these overtaking techniques is the key to becoming a fantastic passer in F122. Let me know if you've got any other tips in the comments below, or you have a favourite overtaking move. And as always, drop this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more F122 content. But for now guys, see you on track.